Yeah, and Alex confessed to me, you said you got a toe on one of those laps, but obviously you guys have found something here. You look pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, the toe here is, everybody's in the toe. I mean, it's you can't really avoid it. But we seem to be okay. We seem to, I'm pretty pleased with the speed compared to others right now. We'll see when we get to qualifying, but we had a really good car here last year. We qualified 6th and ran 8th and probably should have been top 5.
Mark, I tell you, been keeping my eye on Tony Kanaan. Dude's got a good race car.
No question about that.
That's all there is to it. He's got a good race car.
I think Marco's car is handling pretty well. I mean, Marco's not, at the top of the speed chart. He's currently 12th quick, but his car looks awfully good in traffic. Scott Dixon, surprise, surprise, looks awfully good in traffic, as does Graham Rahal. But, yeah, I'm with you throughout most of this afternoon. Been keeping our eye on Tony Kanaan, and he's 7th quick. Boy, for Alex Lloyd and Dale Coyne to be 2nd quick in that number 19 machine, good for Alex, good for Dale Coyne. I think to see him have another good weekend. He's in a stretch here, back-to-back ovals. And a good run for J.R. Hildebrand so far, Mike. Even with that banged-up knee, he's turned 31 laps here, and he's currently P3 on the speed chart. So I think we've seen over the years that, much like at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, John Barnes and Panther Racing know the fast way around Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, that's the truth, Mark. They've won this race with 3 different drivers. They've won with Scott Goodyear here. They've won with Thomas Scheckter here. Obviously won some thrillers here with Sam Hornish Jr. So certainly J.R. Hildebrand's got a car underneath him. And the big question was, Mark, how would he respond to that final lap crash at the Indianapolis 500? First off, the way he handled himself was just spoke volumes about this kid. But now to come back here and to be in that car with the knee injury, and Mark, you and I have both dealt with knee injuries. We've also dealt with other athletes that have had torn ACLs, MCLs. This is not a pleasant thing to deal with, and he is in that race car. And yes, it's his left leg, and thankfully he is going to have a little bit of time where he's going to be able to rest that leg in the car, because not a lot of gear shifting, anything like that. But still, the bottom line is this guy is going to rise above this injury, and it looks like going to be able to put it out of his mind, and adrenaline is going to take over here like it does with all the greats.
Probably going to bother him Sunday morning a lot more than throughout the course of Saturday night. But just kind of echoing your sentiments based upon the way that he reacted upon losing what eventually may very well be the biggest loss of his entire career. Sad to say at the age of 23. But simple fact of the matter is this. I think it would be appropriate for coaches of all sports, agents, whatever the case may be, if you have a young athlete first entering professional sports, it's easy to stand there and take all the glory and the accolades. Every interview J.R. Hildebrand did immediately, from the time he went to the media center to all the media outlets and everything that he appeared on, those folks should record that and use that as a tool to teach people how to handle adversity with class and true sportsmanship. And I think J.R. Hildebrand may end up being the most popular runner-up in the history of the Indianapolis 500 because of the way he conducted himself in the face of tremendous adversity.
Totally agree. And what was interesting, Mark, is he refused to speak to radio or television until he had the chance to go back to his pit stall and apologize personally to his Panther Racing crew for crashing the car in the final corner of the Indy 500. Then he spoke to everybody. And didn't just speak to them, but spoke to them at length about what had happened out there, about losing the world's biggest race as a rookie in the race when he was within sight of the checkered flag. And I agree with you. To play back the way he handled the entire situation could be a great teaching tool to a lot of young, not just young, a lot of veteran athletes could watch that and learn something from the way J.R. Hildebrand handled it.
Yeah, he approached it all with a smile in every interview that I saw and heard, and just did a tremendous job. And congratulations to John Barnes and Panther Racing on their selection of J.R. Hildebrand, and we hope that certainly his best is yet to come, and we can't wait to watch it unfold before us.
Sebastian Saavedra right now is at the rear of the field at 207.861 miles an hour. Actually, I say that was his last lap speed, his best lap speed of the afternoon, 210.137. We're Will Power at 214.977. So, Mark, right now the spread from fastest to slowest, about 56 hundredths of a second from Power to Saavedra. You take a look back we were just talking about Team Penske in the month of May at Indy. Mark, the best finish belonged to Will Power. He was 14th. Elio Castroneves was 17th, and Ryan Briscoe was 27th. I don't think any of us would have ever predicted something like that, as Team Penske really limped out of Indianapolis this year instead of what they're accustomed to, and that's usually driving out with the big check and the big trophy.
Well, granted, of course, there were several years that they missed a while in kart, but certainly the most miserable experience for Team Penske since 1995 when Emma and Little Al failed to make the race. And I think maybe it was the Speedway historian Donald Davidson that said collectively it was the worst average finish for Roger Penske-owned cars since maybe way back in 1971.
That's telling.
That's
for sure.
going back away.
Takuma Sato rolls back out onto track as we have now about 10 minutes remaining in this afternoon practice session. An hour and 15 minutes, the only practice session before qualifying is set to get underway. Once again, we'll be back with you at 4:45 Eastern Time, 3:45 Texas time. For the IZOD IndyCar Series Peak Performance qualifying session. What we have seen, Mark, with Verizon and Team Penske. You know, we see Will Power all over the place. We see an awful lot of activation by Verizon Wireless with the entire Team Penske operation, but Will Power has been a part of many of their national broadcast ads, both on radio and television and on print and in print. And it makes a huge difference when a sponsor feels like they are fully involved with the team and vice versa, and the activation includes the use of that team in their other marketing materials. And that's when you really start building.
Right.
That's when you really start seeing some progress being made. And I think now we're seeing that right now with many of our teams.
Yeah, certainly some identification there for the quote-unquote non-traditional race fan, and that's what's important because that's how you bring people to the sport.
Well, we've got about 5 minutes remaining in this session as we continue to watch Will Power sit on top of the speed chart. Alex Lloyd is next. J.R. Hildebrand runs third. Dario Franchitti is fourth. And Alex Tagliani, who won the pole at Indianapolis 3 weeks ago, looking to perhaps repeat. It looks like Tag will at least have a shot at it as he is currently P5. P6 and Franchitti has just gone to P5 as Ryan Briscoe has jumped into the top three now, as Briscoe now runs just behind his teammate Will Power with a lap of 214.836. So Mark, it came late in the session, but Ryan Briscoe turning 46 laps. He has just laid down his best one at 214.836 miles an hour. Alex
Lloyd, J.R. Hildebrand, Dario Franchitti, your top five. Then Tags, Ed Carpenter, Tony Kanaan, Justin Wilson, after being mired around 22nd, 23rd quick, all of a sudden has hit the button. He has the Z-Line Designs number 22 machine in the top 9. How about Takuma Sato in the number 5 machine? He's in the top 10. Then Ray Hall, Dixon, Elio, Danica, Simona Di Silvestro pedaling a little faster now. She's up to 15th. Then Marco, Davey Hamilton, Anna Beatrice, Charlie Kimball, Wade Cunningham, Vitor Mira 21st quick, Serbia, Hinchcliffe, Vizo, Jakes, Conway. Ryan Hunter-Ray is 28th quick. 27th quick, then Paul Tracy, then Jay Howard, then Sebastian Saavedra. Looks like we've got about 3 minutes remaining in this session, and we'll be able to hang around with you here on IndyCar.com for a few minutes to get reaction from some of our quickest drivers during this 1 hour, 15-minute practice session. The only time they will be on track before they qualify. The qualifying session once again gets underway at 4:45 Eastern Time, 3:45 Central Time, and we'll be here with you on IndyCar.com to bring you all of the action of that. We'll also be with you on XM 94 and on Sirius 212, so we hope you'll join us for live coverage of the run for the Peak Performance Pole Award. It's Power and Briscoe, a pair of Team Penske cars, currently running 1-2. Then Alex Lloyd, the Dale Coyne Racing machine. Mark is currently P3. Then you've got J.R. Hildebrand, the Panther car. Then you've got P5, the Target Chip Ganassi Racing machine of Franchitti, and Ed Carpenter, the Sarah Fisher Racing machine, is currently P6. So a lot of good parity here, Mark, as we look in the top 10. Alex Tagliani from Sam Schmid Motorsports is 7th. Tony Kanaan from KV is currently 8th. Another Penske car, Elio Castroneves, is currently 9th. And a Dreyer Reinbold Racing car, Justin Wilson, is currently 10th.